At 3:15 p.m., a text message was sent between two lovers in Clackamas County. It was short, just 3 words: "Pack my toy." 2 hours later, a man lay dying on the pavement, shot 3 times in the stomach by his best friend. But the killers didn't flee the country. They didn't panic. They didn't even skip dinner. They went to McDonald's, ordered Happy Meals for their kids, and sat down to watch cartoons, with the gunpowder still on their hands. This is the story of Cody Denewith and Dominique Britt, and it proves that sometimes the most dangerous people aren't hiding in the shadows. They are the ones claiming to save you. In the quiet suburbs of Clackamas County, Oregon, the concept of a second chance isn't just a sentiment, it's a business model. Dave's Killer Bread, a bakery in Milwaukee, is famous for its commitment to hiring individuals with criminal backgrounds to assist in their reintegration into society. It was here that 2 men, Cody James Denewith and Nathan Dean Anderson, became co-workers. To the outside world, Cody appeared to be a success story of this program. He was a 27-year-old father who had previously served time for burglary in Oklahoma in 2016 and a 2022 conviction for being a felon in possession of a firearm. But beneath the surface of this professional rehabilitation, a volatile domestic life was simmering. Cody shared an apartment in Milwaukee with his fiancée, Dominique Britt. Their history was marred by red flags of domestic instability, culminating in a police response to a domestic violence call at their home just days before the murder. Cody was arrested and briefly jailed. The trigger for this tragedy occurred during Cody's brief absence. While he was behind bars, Dominique claimed that Nathan Anderson, Cody's coworker whom Cody claimed to view as a little brother, had sexually assaulted her. While investigators later stated they were never able to prove this assault actually happened, the factual truth mattered little to Cody's psyche. Psychologically, Cody likely experienced what is known as a knight in shining armor complex, combined with pathological jealousy. Upon his release, he became consumed by the belief of the assault and fixated on revenge. This wasn't a spontaneous eruption of rage. It was a deliberative, cold escalation. 3 days before the shooting, Cody began soliciting family members for help in killing Nathan. When they refused, he turned to the only person who would validate his rage, Dominique. The conspiracy reached its terminal phase on the morning of Monday, April 29, 2024. Cody was no longer thinking about his second chance at Dave's Killer Bread. He was focused on a tactical execution. At approximately a few hours before the murder, Cody sent a text to Dominique that would become the smoking gun of the prosecution's case. He asked her to pack him clothing and his toy from upstairs. In any other context, toy might be innocuous, but for Cody and Dominique, it was a pre-established code word for his Sig Sauer P365 handgun. This linguistic choice is a fascinating psychological distancing mechanism. By calling a high-capacity, micro-compact, semi-automatic pistol a toy, the couple attempted to normalize the preparation for homicide. It also showed a rudimentary, albeit failed, attempt at operational security. Dominique complied, delivering the weapon to Cody with the full understanding that he intended to kill Anderson. Around 5:30 p.m., Cody located Nathan Anderson in the area of Southeast 91st Avenue and Southeast St. Helens Street. To further obscure his identity, Cody had removed the license plates from his silver sedan. As Nathan exited a vehicle, Cody approached him at close range. He raised the Sig Sauer and fired 3 rounds into Nathan's abdomen. In forensic pathology, targeting the abdomen is significant. It often results in slow, painful hemorrhaging and multi-organ failure. As Nathan collapsed, Cody didn't stay to witness the end. He fled the scene. Neighbors rushed to help, and Nathan was transported to Oregon Health and Science University. However, his injuries were non-survivable, and he was pronounced dead upon arrival. Cody, meanwhile, returned to Dominique. In a chilling display of emotional flatlining, the couple went to McDonald's, got food for their children, and watched the Smurfs movie as if it were any other Monday. The interrogation of Cody Denewith began with a display of extreme cognitive dissonance. Detective Alex read Cody his rights, and Cody immediately attempted to play the role of the concerned mentor. When asked if he knew Nathan, Cody stated, "He used to be my worker. He was like my little brother." Cody spent the first half of the interview painting Nathan as a man whose life was falling apart due to drugs and DUI issues, while positioning himself as the one who helped him move and picked him up from the impound lot. Notice Cody's response when the detective asks how he heard about Nathan's death. He says, "Social media. It's known on the news. I looked." His voice is steady, but he is deflecting the personal connection by citing a public source. Cody's room was a battle of wits and evidence. Dominique's room was an emotional unraveling. While Cody denied even having Nathan's phone, detectives confronted him with GPS data. Nathan's phone had traveled directly to Cody's apartment after the murder. Cody's response was a flat, "How could I have his phone if I was never with him?" The detectives then moved to the physical evidence. They showed Cody a surveillance photo of a car at the crime scene. A car with a very distinctive sticker in the window. Cody's response was a classic stutter of denial. "It doesn't look like my car precisely. I've never had a sticker like that. No, never." When the detective shows Cody a time-stamped photo of his own car from the day before the murder, clearly showing the same sticker, Cody falls into a heavy silence. He then tries a desperate pivot. "Somebody put a sticker on my car." This is the hallmark of a suspect who is cornered by objective reality. His lies are forced to become increasingly absurd to cover the gaps. The exact moment the case collapsed occurred in Dominique's room. Detectives presented her with the toy text messages. They told her they had court orders for cell records that could pinpoint her exact location at the time of the gun handoff. The detective asked her, "Talk to us about you bringing him the gun." Dominique finally broke. She replied, "I did." This was the turning point. She admitted she met Cody on the side of the street and handed him a backpack containing the clothes and the Sig Sauer. She admitted Cody told her he shot him and left. Dominique then attempted to shift the entirety of the blame, stating, "He had to have killed him. It was all Cody's. He was not going to let it go." Back in Cody's room, the detectives, now armed with Dominique's confession, laid out the hierarchy of bad. They told Cody he was looking at 3 options. 1. A crime of passion. 2. A premeditated plan. 3. He meant to shoot but not kill. Cody, sensing the legal trap, finally realized his mentor persona had failed. His cold feet regarding his demand for a lawyer vanished. He looked at the detectives and said, "I think it's time to get a lawyer now, 'cause all 3 of those options are bad." The toy Cody requested became the instrument of his own legal destruction. Cody James Denewith pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter and first-degree assault. He was sentenced to 27.5 years in prison. Dominique Marie Britt pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter and received 12.5 years. In the end, this wasn't about a second chance or a little brother. It was a reconstruction of ruin, fueled by an unproven allegation and executed with a disturbing level of domestic coordination. The relationship between Cody and Dominique acted like a runaway train. While Dominique may have provided the fuel with her allegations, Cody was the engine that drove them both toward a collision with reality that neither could survive. Immediately following their confessions, the legal machinery turned against Cody Denewith and Dominique Britt. Both were initially charged with murder in the second degree. In Oregon, this carries a mandatory life sentence, a reality that shattered any delusion they had of claiming self-defense. The prosecution's case for premeditation was anchored by 3 immovable facts that made a trial suicide. First, solicitation. 3 days prior, Cody unsuccessfully asked family members to help him kill Nathan. Second, the toy text. The couple used code words to coordinate the weapon handoff. And third, the license plates. Most damningly, Cody deliberately removed the plates from his sedan before the shooting. Detectives successfully argued that you do not remove your license plates and coordinate a gun handoff if you are acting out of a sudden crime of passion. The hierarchy of bad options presented in the interrogation room was now their legal reality. Faced with the prospect of life in prison, both chose to take plea deals. Cody James Denewith pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the first degree and assault in the first degree. On April 14, 2025, the judge sentenced him to 27.5 years in prison. To understand this tragedy, we must look past the ballistics to the psychological collapse within the Denewith-Britt household. This was a dark symbiosis. Dominique provided the fuel, an unproven allegation of sexual assault, and Cody provided the engine. Detectives described Dominique as winding him up and cutting him loose. Cody, already possessing a history of violence and a knight in shining armor complex, allowed his ego to be weaponized. He didn't just hear an allegation, he became consumed by it, choosing a primitive, retaliatory justice over the truth. The betrayal was intimate. Cody didn't hunt a stranger. He hunted a man he had mentored and helped move into his apartment. By using his knowledge of Nathan's life to end it, Cody committed the ultimate betrayal of the brotherly bond he touted to police. Perhaps the most chilling aspect is the emotional flatlining that followed. After firing 3 rounds into Nathan's abdomen, ensuring a slow death, Cody went home. He and Dominique didn't flee. They went to McDonald's, bought food for their children, and watched The Smurfs. They had processed the murder as a necessary household chore rather than an atrocity. Nathan Anderson was killed for a story that couldn't be proven, by a man who claimed to love him like a brother, using a weapon his fiancée called a toy. The most terrifying lies are the ones we tell ourselves to justify the things we were already planning to do. This case exposes how quickly a shared delusion can turn deadly. If you want to see more deep dives into criminal psychology and the interrogation room, make sure to like this video. It helps these stories get told. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next analysis. We have a new case file opening soon. Stay safe and watch who you trust.